Hi guys, well I'm in Cumbria again at a campsite called Low Greenside Farm at Ravenstonedale. I'll put details onto the information section. Just got parked up, just paid, and I'm now going to go pitch on the campsite. So we'll have a look once I've got pitched and get the tent up. But it's a lovely evening again, and before the question is asked, yes. So, the tent is up, the bike is parked next to the tent, the beer's cooling, not got much food but I did have some at lunchtime, and I'm just going to give you a quick spin round the site. It's a small farm campsite, Low Greenside Farm Camping, I think, Low Greenside Farm, and that's at Ravenstonedale in Cumbria. It's near, not too far from Kirby Stephen. So, what can I say about this? It's a simple farm campsite, but it's really set out quite nicely, and the facilities are relatively new and really nice actually. What I do like is that parking of cars is on a car park, and they're not allowed on the camping field. Motorbikes are allowed on, simply the owner of the site, or the manager of the site, that is the owner, feels that motorbikes need to be nearer to their owners than cars do, which is very nice. Beautiful site. It's a simple farm campsite. It's not too large but big enough, and the facilities are really good. I'm just going to give you a quick walk around, and well, I'll give you a 360 view first, and then we'll just have a quick walk around, show you the field, and then I'll show you where the facilities are. So, more or less in the centre of the field now, and if we just pan round, where that blue tent is the far corner of the field. Although there is some yurts in the next field. And then as we pan round, you can see the border with the stone wall behind those tents. It's a fairly flat field. It's a bit undulating, I should say, really. It's undulating, but there's plenty of flat places. And then the extent of the camping can be seen as we come round here. And in the background there are the facilities, which we'll go and look at shortly. So, what I do like about the site is that it's they're leaving quite a bit of grass area, and this centre area is a good example of that. They're leaving that as meadow for kids to play in, but obviously not to pitch tents in there, just to allow a little bit of nature to be on the site. The family appears to be a really nice family that run the farm, and Magnus runs the camping side of things now. I've had a chat with Magnus already, but I'm hoping that tomorrow we might be able to have a chat on camera in the format that I know you like, but it is daunting for people, so we'll see tomorrow. But Magnus is quite pleased with the way his site is being developed. It was a very basic field prior to him running the camping side, but he's turned central bits of it into this meadow, and he's kept little pathways going through effectively the meadow grass. So here the car park with the entrance just behind. All cars have got to remain on there, they can't go on the camping field, but as with my motorbike, there, motorbikes are allowed on. We'll go and have a look at the facilities, although it's quite busy, so I won't be going in them, but at least you can see from the outside. The farm building's a typical Westmoreland farmhouse, and this is an area that I'm actually Oh, I've spent a lot of my life in Westmoreland. So just on the campsite itself, or from the farm, there's a public footpath heading down in the direction I'm facing now, and the buildings that you can see ahead of you are Ravenstonedale, and there's a couple of pubs in Ravenstonedale for those that like a pint. And the backdrop is stunning. So the caravan there is the actual shower block, and the toilet facilities are in this what looks like a relatively newly built toilet block. That's your gents urinals, and then you've got sit down toilets in these three. Yeah, it's a cracking view actually. I think I get a clearer picture for you here. And then back to the campsite. So very small but nicely packaged, I think is how we describe this one. There's plenty of fire pits and logs for sale. The logs are £7 a bag. It's 2021 prices, and the price at the moment, the price for a solo motorcyclist is £15. I was talking to Magnus about this, and it's something that they're going to have a little think about as to where the price should sit. Okay guys, so the shower block is this caravan, and my initial thoughts on that were, oh dear, what's that going to be like? However, I did have a chat with Magnus, who owns the site, and he said go and have a look at them. So I have, and it's basically one of those static caravans, but it's got 3 bathrooms, or 3 shower rooms I should say. And it's very quirky, but it's a small basic campsite, and things like this really add to the enjoyment of it. And I've just had a quick look in prior to filming, and just come and have a look at this. It's not just a shower room, it's a complete room for having a wash, brushing your teeth if you need to, although there are separate toilet units where you can go and visit the toilet and use the hand basin. But this is immaculate, absolutely immaculate. You really don't get a view with me standing in the way, so I'll just pull out and you can have a look. Supremely clean, in absolutely mint condition. How about that? So, not what I expected, and to be honest, as a wild camper, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. But the reason for this caravan rather than a building is that it's in a very sensitive area from a point of view of planning and building regulations, and it's an old farmhouse, which is a beautiful old building, and the site is entirely kept in an environmental friendly way. And this was the fix to having showers. And from what Magnus was telling me, or Magnus's mum was telling me, that the regulars find it quirky, but they really, really like this. And I can get that. I mean, I did find and think, well, gosh, showers in a caravan. But to be perfectly honest, this is the cleanest and nicest shower block I've been to in, well, certainly the last couple of years. Absolutely mint. And on top of that, whilst you're waiting, if you have to wait, because it's a smallish site, so 3 showers is sufficient for the site size. Whilst you're waiting, there's a seating area, a waiting area. Now it's closed at the moment. There's a sign up saying that you can't use the seats, and that's because of COVID. And understandably, you've got to put certain restrictions in way. But under normal circumstances, you can get sat here chatting with 1 or 2 people as they go past, if you want to, waiting for your shower. It's a big surprise to me. I just did not expect this, and I'm glad Magnus told me to come and have a look, because I would take his word for the fact that it was really good, and Magnus's mum's word for the fact that their regulars really like it. But having been in now and had a look, it's absolutely brilliant. So don't let that put you off. And at the rear, you've got the washing up facility just there. The site is now quietened off. Quite a few people have now left, but there are families here stopping for the remaining part of the week. And just a final look at the site. You got the farmhouse there, car park. All cars have got to stay on there. In the background, you've seen the caravan, which is the shower facilities and the toilet block. Very basic, but very nice. And the site itself, stretched out in front of us. Very nice, really good. So guys, I'm just about ready to leave, and all I've got to do is take the tent down, put it on the bike, get the gear on and go. So what can I say about Low Greenside Farm Campsite? I don't really need to say too much, because just look at it. Look at this backdrop. It's absolutely stunning. Now I know it's a sunny morning and it was a beautiful evening last night. I've got a really good picture of the sunset, which I'll put onto the end of the video. So how can I sum up my stay at Low Greenside Farm Campsite at Ravenstonedale? I have to go home today, otherwise I would have stayed another night, and I think that sort of sums it up. But really, I don't need to say much more than look at the scenery. Just look at the backdrop. This is the campsite. The area directly behind me is a meadow area which you don't camp on, but you can go and sit in and the kids run around in. It's a beautiful location. Stunning scenery. You've got a panorama of mountains and fells around you. And it's so peaceful and so quiet. The campsite's very basic. It's intended to be so. I think even they market it on their website as being like camping used to be, and I actually get that. I understand that. There's no cars allowed onto the field. Fortunately for us motorbikers and obviously cyclists, you can bring your motorbike onto the field to be next to your tent, but no other vehicles allowed on. So it's not a place for caravans. I think motorhomes maybe do allow on, but you need to check the website. But for motorcycles, it's a perfect location, this, because Ravenstonedale, whilst it's in Cumbria, it's actually also in the North Yorks National Park. So you've got that mix of it's right on the edge of both areas, but it is in Cumbria. However, it is also in the national park, Yorkshire Dales National Park, and I think it's this area is classed as the Westmoreland Dales. The other good thing for camping here generally is that the location is so handy. You're directly in the middle of the Yorkshire Dales, the traditional Yorkshire Dales, and the Lake District. So from here you can go in both directions and you're going to hit some stunning motorcycle scenery. Well, also for walkers and cyclists and anybody else. But since I'm the camping biker, I sort of talk about motorbikes. But you're right bang in the middle of it, and it's a beautiful place. The campsite is very environmentally friendly. The little meadow area that they keep in the very centre and other little patches is to allow for the abundance of wildflowers to grow. The lack of vehicles on the site helps as well, because it keeps it in fairly pristine condition. It seems to be a well-drained site. It's a really good pitch, and the other area of environmental friendliness is the toilets, in that there are no water toilet facility. So it's designed to use as little water resource as possible. The toilets are 2 to 3 year old, but they're in pristine condition. You would think they'd just been actually built. They also have a link with a water charity for, I guess, poorer countries. I need to look into this, but I'll put a link on the information section. So they have that environmental awareness. So there's a link to a charity where they donate so much to water charities for abroad. The shower block, which you've seen in the video, is a static caravan. And at first I thought, well, that must be a temporary setup, until they can build a shower block. But the reason why it's a caravan, and you've seen how good a caravan it is, it's brilliant, it's absolutely 100 times better than I was expecting. The reason it's like that is that we're in an area where planning restrictions can be very difficult to get on especially next to a traditional old farmhouse. And to build a shower block with 3 showers, the footprint of that and the construction of that would be such that it would be so environmentally damaging that the static caravan with its 3 showers and a little waiting area is the most environmentally friendly way that they could achieve that at this location. Bearing in mind this is a simple basic campsite, so having these showers in a mobile caravan, for the want of a better word, a mobile caravan, is no issue at all. And as you've seen from the little clip that I did in the showers, there's nobody there obviously, it's pristine. I don't know how they keep everything so clean actually, it's so pristine. When you look at some campsites that you do go to, but every campsite's different, and it's down to how the owners can best manage the facilities that they've got with the resources they've got. But this is so clean. The toilet block and the showers, absolutely mint. Doesn't look like they've been used. They all look new, and I'm very, very impressed with what they've done. And then to add to that, saving the water on no use of water on the toilets. The actual facilities that they've built in there are very, very modern, and I took a picture of one of the toilets and I'll put that on at the end as well, but it's pristine. The family that own the site, and Magnus that manages and runs the site, it's his business, the campsite, they are so nice and so friendly, and I can see what Magnus wants to achieve with this site. And I guess it's not much more than it is now, but keep on top of it and keep it as it is and keep it friendly. Keep the cars off the fields. And I think he's achieved and taken on what was his, I guess his mum's site originally, and I can see what he's achieved with that. Now, like a lot of these reviews, sometimes the owners are quite happy to come on camera, sometimes they're not. Magnus didn't feel he wanted to come on camera, that's absolutely perfectly understandable. But we did have a good talk, and I think I get what he's achieved with this and what he's trying to continue with the site. It's the site itself is you've seen pictures that I've posted, but it's an undulating site, but lots of flat areas to pitch. And beyond this meadow we have here, it dips down where there's actually still quite a few tents down there. So you have me here in this beautiful location with this beautiful backdrop, and yet there are tents beyond the horizon of the field. Also, as you've seen in the videos, there's a yurt and a bell tent, a big bell tent. The yurt and the bell tent are self-contained with toilets and facilities. Have a look on the website if that interests you. The village of Ravenstonedale is just over, well, it's where those trees are. So just where you see those trees, that's where the village is. So it's about a 10-minute walk, and there's a public footpath runs through the farm along the boundary of the campsite, and then drops down, across a river, and there is a bridge, no water crossings, and you're into the village. And there's 2 pubs in the village, apparently very, very good real ale food, and it's just a nice little village. I know the village from previous history, albeit I didn't get down there last night. I'm a bit late in leaving this morning because it's such a nice warm morning, and I've had some pretty wet and some pretty wet camps of recent weeks. But also I wanted to catch up with Magnus, just have another chat with him, and do a little bit of finish off filming. But actually, in fairness, I've had a couple of cups of coffee and I've chilled out, but it is time I packed up. I guess the only area for me personally, remember everything I express is just a personal view. For me, the pricing structure is, well, to start with, it's very reasonable. It's £9 per adult, and they don't charge extra for fire pits. You pay for the logs, and I think that's about £7. So there's a fire pit with every pitch. So every pitch gets a fire. The campsite never gets full because it's limited by the number of cars that can park. And I've shown you a clip of the little car park. It's only small. So they control the numbers on this site through the number of cars that they have parked. And that's really nice because it just gives a feeling of airness. I mean, you look now and there's still probably about 30 tents, some of them very large tents. But look at this. The £9 an adult is, and this is 2021 prices in, well, it's 1st of June today. That's very reasonable pricing. You get a fire pit with every pitch. However, the one thing that, for me personally, the one thing that I would sort of think isn't so good for solo campers, particularly solo motorcyclists or cyclists, is that there's a minimum charge of £15 a night. Now, that's above my £6 to £12 budget. And I know many of you would think £15 a night is reasonable anyway. It's a good price. So it's a personal view. But I had a chat with Magnus and his mum about it, and Magnus was saying that the reason that this pricing structure of the minimum £15 was to really, to a degree, control the numbers that come in cars. And so if one person turns up, you pay £15 a night. If 2 people turn up, you're paying £18 a night. There's no extras. You don't pay for the showers. You know, showers are free. Fire pits are free, but you pay for the wood. And every pitch has a fire pit, which is excellent. However, for me personally, that minimum £15, and I understand why that charge is there. The minimum £15 for me is a bit restrictive, really. I just sort of felt that it and I completely understand the control of numbers because of the limited parking for cars, but within my budget it doesn't really meet my budget expectations. And my gut feeling was that as a solo traveller, it was almost like being penalised as a solo traveller. But let me say again, I do understand the reasons for the pricing structure they've got, and at the end of the day, it's their site, and a lot of you would consider £15 is reasonable price. So who am I to say not? And again, it's just a personal view. However, despite the pricing structure, I would come back to this site because it's beautiful and it's in a great location and the family's nice. And for anybody else visiting with a family, it's a superb place to come. I've been watching the families and the kids playing cricket, playing tag, you know, just having a generally good time. And it's that sort of site. It's simple, and as they say, it's like camping used to be.